Good morning, guys. So, requested by Abraham, exercise 8 of the D test. It was about car sales in the Netherlands. So, before we start, let's have a look at the graph and try to understand the graph before you start working on the exercise. So, what we see here is car sales in the Netherlands. Read the title, and this is the market share on this side. So you read this as 7%, 8%, 9%. To help you out, they already give you the coordinates, so you don't need to read them off and guess. So everybody has actually the same calculation if they do it correctly. On the right here, you see the number of cars that were sold. So 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. And these down here are the years. Yeah. So the first question is how many Renaults were sold in 2014? So we have to look at 2014. We see 2 bullet points. So let me write that down. So the red one tells you 8% Renault. And it also tells you in 2014, 388,000 cars in total were sold. But we are only interested in how many Renaults were sold. So what we do, we wrote down the information. We have to get 8% of the total amount of cars that was sold in 2014. So 0.08 times 388,000. We calculate, you can use the calculator for this, take your time. And then you find a not rounded answer. Always write it down like that. Sorry, equal sign. And then you can round to 31,000 Renault cars. Yeah? Okay. Then for question B, take the graph in front of you and do the intersection points in the line charts have meaning? Well, do they? No, they don't. First of all, the right side is about in thousands, and the left one is in percentages. So no, they don't have meaning. And what could you write down? You can say one graph is about percentages, and other unit is in thousands. You can also say they have no meaning. Only the points have a meaning. Yeah, the point only has a meaning and they're related to each other like you've seen in question A. So the line segments between them, they don't have meaning at all. Yeah? Okay, let's look at question C. So in question C, let's read it again. Were more or fewer Renaults sold in 2013 than 2014? We have to write down quite a lot of information. So what we see in 2012, let's start with 2012. We see 8.8% and a total amount of 502,000 cars. Our information 2013 is 8.9%, and the cars, it dropped to 417 cars. 417,000 cars. Yeah, so you can already think, were more or less Renault sold? Well, 8.8% of 502, is that going to be more or less than 8.9% of 417 cars? So it's a close call, but let's really calculate it. Yeah, make sure you get your calculator and we're gonna go calculate. So we do make this a decimal, 0.088 times 502,000. And this one will be 0.089 times 417,000. You guys go ahead, calculate this, pause the video, and calculate it on your own. And make sure, of course, that you round. So this final answer will be 44,176. And this one will be 2013, 37,113. So we have to compare these amounts. Well, for a comparison, we want to compare, was it in 2013 the question. Let me read it again. Was it more or fewer Renaults sold in 2013 than 2012? So we're comparing new with old. So this is new, this is old. So this is a formula for it. You do 37,113 minus 44,176, divide by old, which is 44,176 times 100. And you calculate and you figured it out that it is negative 16%, which makes sense because the difference, there was a degrees of 16% of Renault Clios that were sold. So it was less. Then for question D, Oscar is going to change the graph. Yeah, he says, I'm going to make a pie chart for the car sales by the brand in 2016. Calculate the central angle of the sector for Renault. So what you need to remember about a pie chart, and this is something we've done already in the second year, central angle, is it's divided into pieces. And what you want to calculate over here, the alpha, that's called the central angle. A full angle, you know that's 360 degrees, which is equal to 100%. So if you want to know, hey, what is the percentage? And in 2016, you can read it off. It's 9.2%. You want to also figure out what is the angle belonging to the 9.2%. How will my piece of pie, how will it look like? Yeah? How many degrees do I need to draw it? Well, what you do, and that's also what they say there, you just have to figure out what is 9.2% of 360. And how can you do that? Get, again, this as a decimal, 0.092, and multiply it with 360. You can also say, I'm going to 1% first. So method 1 is I'm going to divide 360 by 100, and I multiply that times 9.2. You will also get the same answer. Yes, so get the calculator, type it in, and eventually both answers, when you round, must be 33.1 degrees. And then you can find it. So the most important thing that I can say belonging to the questions, the charts over here, is understand the graph. When there are two line charts in one graph, they are related to each other, but they have different meaning. And they're also correlated to each other. That means they have influence on each other. You have to do a calculation between them, all right? So this is exercise 8.